All right, y'all. I just got done doing that workout. It was pretty tough, but a good blast. Again, I'm gonna voice kind of talk through it to hit some of the key points. Workout of the week this week, though. It's 4 time, but you're not breaking the sets up into your different movements. So you're not moving on to the next movement until you finish all the reps of the first movement. So it's 50 handstand push-ups for time, 100 push-ups, and then 200 sit-ups, and then all of that for time together. Again, you're not moving to the next movement until you finish all reps of the first one or the one that precedes it. So get after it that way. Now the stipulation, what makes this fun, turns it into a good work capacity Metcon burner, as well as working through your strength base and getting a lot of pushing and core going on, is that every time you break a sweat, you're doing 3 burpees. So get after it, have fun, and I'll see you on the other side because this is a good one. Peace. All right, so this first part of this workout, handstand push-ups. Handstand push-ups are great, getting that overhead archetype movement, getting you strong in that area. It took me, honestly, about 6 months, maybe even a full year of messing around with them before I really got kind of proficient at them. And even then, I'm not very good at them, as you can see. I did a couple of big sets, and then the rest of my sets were 2s and 3s. But doing it for a time and giving yourself a number is a good way to kind of build up your work capacity, which was kind of the goal of this workout. I wanted to build up my work capacity. Now, I've been working a lot with overhead stuff. The last probably 3 months has been a big explosive work buildup. And a lot of that was doing things like overhead presses, military presses, overhead holds, but I hadn't done a lot of handstand push-ups. And so it's a good corollary. It's a good changeover. So those of you who are watching, if you can't do handstand push-ups and you want to give this workout a try, things you can do to substitute, you can do pike push-ups, which the last program I was on, or the last kind of 3-month build up, called for doing a lot of pike push-ups and not necessarily handstand push-ups. And like I said, a lot of push presses and military presses. But you can do pike push-ups, again, seated dumbbell press, just over your head. Seated dumbbell military press is a good one. Military press is another good one. Or you can do a military press where your feet are elevated and then you're controlling your core and still doing the military press that way. Benefits of doing the handstand push-ups otherwise. Last year I was doing a big strength build-up, and I took my bench from 265 to 305 in 8 weeks, and I almost didn't bench at all. I was just doing handstand push-ups and strict press. And then we were doing a lot of squats and deadlifts, again, really working on building that power base. But I think there's a great corollary there, kind of, at least in my experience, in that doing the overhead stuff will help you, like, just in your raw bench or whatever. I personally think, again, this is my personal opinion. I'm not saying this is the truth, but my personal opinion is I think there's more benefits to overall athleticism and real world functionality from doing the overhead stuff versus, how much of your life, when you're going about life, are you going to be laying down and pushing something like eye level over your chest? Not a whole lot. Yet you look with overhead. How often are you balancing? How often are you lifting things when you have both feet on the ground and you're standing upright or you're in a different position? So again, I think the handstand push-up, push press, military press, it's simple, it's old school, but I think it's the most effective as far as a real-world functional movement, but also it's effective for overall athletic performance. Again, basketball players, great. This was one of Jordan, Kobe, D. Wade, one of the things Tim Grover used with those guys, one of their staples. Get a lot of overhead stuff, overhead holds, things like that. I think it's a great exercise if we're talking football, position specific. If we're talking about wide receivers, guys in the secondary, I think your overhead is as important, or maybe even more important, than getting that bench up. So not saying that bench is a bad exercise. There are a lot of benefits to that. I've just, in my practice, I found that doing the overhead stuff, which the handstand push-up would be a archetype or a version of, there's a lot more benefits to it. Again, you're going to be overall strong throughout your body by doing that type of stuff. So there you see my little guy. He is trying to join me in here, and at this point I'm getting pretty tired, just in terms of like my work capacity is good, but it's just I'm getting tired of doing handstand push-ups at this point. Again, I haven't done a whole lot of these in the basically last 3 months, and so part of the reason for doing this was I wanted to get a good push session in, and I wanted to work a kind of an area where I'd been lacking a little bit. Again, the handstand, though, too, is great for shoulder stability and mobility. It's great for trunk and core control as well. So even if you can't do handstand push-ups, you can do these handstand holds off the wall. You can do walkouts, too, face the other way is another good exercise to do, and just go through all of those progressions. Again, so you'll see me here. The kicker on this was doing 3 burpees every time you break a set on this entire workout. So again, keeping the smile going as you're starting to hurt a little bit. I'm trying to corral my kids, which I love it for them to be out here and joining in, seeing how the work gets done. I think it's a good thing for kids to participate. And I also think it's a good thing sharing with you all, my audience. Like, I'm not just some dude that lives in a boiler room and all I do is work out and create these kind of weird sarcastic videos. It's like, no, I'm a full-time dad with a full-time job or jobs, and I'm doing this stuff. But it's good for the youngsters to see kind of, here's what you do, here's how you approach it. And then my little guy here, he asks me questions a lot. He's like, what are you doing? I'm working out. Well, Daddy, why do you work out? I work out to stay strong so I can protect you. So a good corollary, a good lesson there. And there you go. I did 50. So again, that's first thing. You're doing all 50 before you move on to the next movement. And now I'm moving into the push-ups. Again, push-ups are something overall I'm pretty good at, but it's a different experience after doing all those burpees, doing those 50 handstands, and now having to go into, we're doing 100 push-ups for time there. So doing 100 push-ups, you'll notice I'm changing my grips. So I do some regular push-ups. I do some narrow grip push-ups to put the emphasis on the tricep. I do some diamond push-ups. Again, you can do them whatever way you want. Just get through them. You're trying to, same concept as the handstand push-ups. You're trying to get through this with as little rest as possible. And it's just putting that stress on your muscles. So this overall total time, I think, took me 27 minutes, something like that. That was with wrangling the kids. And so we're doing 100 for time. I was trying to go sets of 25. I got pretty close. Like I said, doing the diamonds. Here I'm doing hands turned inward. So hands are narrow. They're turned inside. And it puts a lot of the stress there at the top of your pecs. And then it actually works your forearm from a different angle. So it's pretty good. And again, just any way you can give your body a different stimulus, hit it from a different angle. So I'm feeling pretty tired right here, but I'm not gassed to the point where I'm going to quit. But at this point, if you've been doing stuff like this a long time, you kind of know where your quit is. And I knew, this is something I'm going to be able to get through, but I was curious as to how long is it going to take me. So I'm going to take that time. I'm going to record it, and then I'm going to maybe do it again at another point to see where my fitness level is in regards to that type of training. Like I said, the last 3 months or so, I've been working just basically almost becoming a specialist in explosive movements using mostly body weight, explosive power. Really, it's been a vertical jump program. I've been doing stuff to kind of get the hops back. So I've been doing push-ups, I've been doing pull-ups, I've been doing things like that, but not to the volume that I was beforehand. So this was a good little test. Hey, where am I at? I didn't blast through it as fast as I thought I would, but I didn't do as bad as it could have been either. This originally was going to be 100 handstand push-ups, 200 regular push-ups, and then 200 sit-ups on top of it. But I was kind of looking at the numbers and how long that possibly would take. Again, I didn't want this to be a long grinder of a workout. I was aiming for 30 minutes or less of just hard, concentrated effort, which is a good goal, especially if you're up around 30 or you're past 30 years old, man. Your kind of working sets, your working sessions, if you can push really hard, at a high intensity for 30 minutes, that's a great spot to be in as far as burning fat and gaining strength and building muscle. So here we are, we're hitting the sit-ups. Again, sit-ups, not a problem for me. I'm pretty good at them. I've done 1 million of them in my lifetime. But you're just moving through it, trying to move through as fast as possible. What the kicker is, right, your abs are burning from doing the sit-ups, and you got to hit your burpees if you stop, which again is putting more stress on your core. So I'm just going through it, trying not to flash everybody too, and just keep moving. At this point, your arms are pretty spent, and so it's almost like your body's enjoying the reward, so to speak, or enjoying doing something else. So you're taking the blood that's pumping through your arms, your chest, your back, and you're kind of diverting it more into your abs, though it's going to be a burner. Here we go, another set. Gotta hit these burpees. And burpees, great exercise for anything, great exercise for torture. Kind of one of my go-tos anytime you need a Metcon, or let's just say you need a 10-minute workout to do. You have 10 minutes to work out, dude. Just do as many burpees as you can in 10 minutes. It'll get the job done. My challenge this year was to do 500 burpees a week for the whole year. So far, I've met that goal. So I'm, of course, tabulating these burpees and adding them into my weekly total. So again, just finishing this up, just breathing through it, and just keep moving. So you notice my pace has slowed down a little bit, but I continue to move. So that's a key when you're doing these 4 time pieces. It's just keep moving as much as possible. Just keep moving. You don't have to go at the same pace you started at, but if you keep moving, you're going to get done sooner. It's going to give you the maximum benefit. And go with a little flex action. I'm talking to my daughter right here. I'm trying to get her on camera. There we go. That's my girl. All right, she's shy. She's the shy one. Y'all saw my little guy. He's not shy. So, yeah, getting to it here, and we're gonna finish it up. There's my little guy. He just learned how to ride his bike. Finishing it up here. Again, when you get to this point in a workout, just push through. Focus on your breathing. Focus on the next rep. That's the key when you have these big rep schemes like this. Just focus on the next rep. Break things down into manageable goals. And again, that's a corollary for life. Break things up into things you can manage and things you can control, and you're going to get more done that way. Actually, you'll probably surpass the big long-term vision you had in the first place. So finishing it up here. Got a couple more to do. I think I have like 22 more to do right here. And I'm just kind of getting myself psyched to do it. Gonna push through them. And then the rest, as they say, is history. Also, make sure you get a good stretch. Stretch the upper body and the lower body after you get this done. "50 handstand push-ups, 100 push-ups, 200 sit-ups, 3 burpees every time you break a set. Get it done, 'cause that was fun."